the main reasons why I started SustyVibes was because I was looking to start a career in sustainability. So fresh out of university, I knew I was passionate about the environment, but I couldn't find a job. I couldn't find ways to plug into the sustainability space that was still emerging at the time. And so SustyVibes became that response. I started writing, blog posts about the SDGs, about sustainability from a young person's point of view. And then, it kind of clicked at some point that we can create a space for young people to lead on sustainability on their terms.
I think it was around 2017 or 18 that I found SustyVibes. I had just quit my job because I wanted to do something that I was really passionate about, and that thing was back then having a waste management company and recycling company. Seeing that I did not have the funds back then to either start this waste management business, and I think that's when I found SustyVibes. It was on Twitter, and there was this picture, if I still remember it. I think it had Jennifer and a couple of other SustyVibes OGs seated on these tires at the beach, and it was like, do you want to join the coolest kids on the block? And quickly I just was like, okay, I think this is it.
I joined SustyVibes right out of school, so like the corporate world was new to me, and working on documents, all these things were very challenging. And then the kind of projects we were doing, so we're working with international partners. I remember one of my first ever project was with Stanford University. So yes, that was quite challenging, but also empowering, because I got to expand and broaden my horizons, and also get the capacity or the ability to know that I can do hard things basically and improve.
I heard about SustyVibes through the Lotus Eco-Feminist Core 3 training, and coming into this training was a very profound decision that I made, because I wasn't really aware about anything that has to do with ecofeminism, sustainability, climate change, and the rest of them, and how it affects women, and children and all that. However, coming into this training gave me a lot of clarity.
When I look back at the last 10 years, I think the moments that have brought me so much pride has also at the same time been the same, really hard times. So when we started to transition from being a volunteer-led organization to become, a structured organization with employees, when we got our office space, those moments stretched me a lot.
I remember facilitating a session at the very first SustyVibes in 2019, and even then you could sense that this was more than an initiative. It was a movement, I would like to say, and since then just watching Jennifer and the team grow has been inspiring.
3 things stood out for me. First, the first physical session we had a particular exercise that has to do with the river of life. And the second moment that stood out for me was during our first online session, Feminism 101. And the third session that stood out for me during this Lotus journey was the session we had about eco-emotion. That session didn't only enlighten me, it opened up my mind, it opened up my soul, and the fact that I was able to express my emotions and share with this community what I was feeling at that time, because that wrapped it up for me.
One of my most memorable events is the TIP program, and that event was so intense that from the conversations that were going on, I was able to say sorry to the young ones, because they were really heaping it on us that we, the older ones, we have misused the environment and we have created so much waste that we left it for them to bear.
You can't take away that community. It really humbled me. The kind of people that participated in that project were people that you wouldn't think they would participate. I met a lot of people fetching water, volunteering with young people like us then, you know. So it's something that, you know, it's humble. It shows me that you have to be humble in life because you don't know who you are meeting.
I think one perfect moment was the Connecting Climate Minds project, which was a year-long project where we contributed to creating a climate change and mental health research and action agenda for young people globally. And through that project, I got to go on my first international trip outside Nigeria. So I got to travel to Barbados.
2019, where we had gone out on a trip for the ESD, that's Education for Sustainable Development. And for one of the schools we went to in Abuja, Nigeria, we found out that this school didn't have a library. We decided to do something about it. And we started a book drive donation. At the end of the day, we were able to pitch the idea with the Abuja Global Shapers, and they came in bringing a counterpart funding for us to transform one of the classrooms that was in the school to become a fully functional library with over 500 books.
I feel like the Zen is what I like most. If we were SustyVibes offices were a challenge, but having a co-working space, making it open-minded for climate enthusiasts, people who also believe in our mission, and being a very, not like a huge space, but making it colorful, exciting for people to work from abroad. I mean, we should also put SustyVibes from there.
When SustyVibes started, they started as cleaning the environment, creating awareness for people to dispose their waste properly. But it has gone ahead to become a research-oriented organization. And with that, it gives me hope that the future is bright for SustyVibes.
I want to commend the R&D department of SustyVibes because of the growth and the research they put into, what is happening real time.
We're moving into a time where issues around climate, health, AI, all of that is happening. And I feel like there's a power of SustyVibes in all of that. It goes depending on if you count the programs that in the past.
I have been empowered to host my own event with all the skills and knowledge necessary, alongside leadership, time management, empathy, and environmental concerns related to mental health and eco-anxiety. It truly means a lot to me.
I am able to marry what sustainability is, ecofeminism is. I'm able to marry these things with the job or the work that I used to do before now. And I really do not think that there is any purpose that is more fulfilling than that.
Through SustyVibes, my passion for environmental survey have increased. I hosted the first working day in Iwaya, and where I brought the special events to the government environment.
So imagine somebody that just started work, like a week later, I was asked to go represent SustyVibes at JCI conference. From that experience, I know that I can do whatever I get placed into, because although it was challenging, but yeah, it was eye-opening also.
SustyVibes is one of those platforms where you could also meet people, all walks of life, who have the same goal as yourself, who are also in sync with your desire for the planet.
I believe that community trees have shown that youth-led projects can really create the real impact in the communities if given the right support and the platform.
Youth-led climate activism is extremely essential in today's day and age, as the youth are the ones who are facing the consequences and the drastic results of global warming and climate change that are absolutely uncalled for.
And so what I think SustyVibes has done well is you've managed to build bridges across sectors. So for young people, collaboration amplifies voice and accelerates action.
And like Vygotsky said in his theory of zone of proximal development, that there is always that gap of what you know and what you don't know. So mentorship in environmental space help to bridge that gap So in that, during the intergenerational conversations, this, whether skill, knowledge gap, information, competencies, they are bridged.
Working personally with Jennifer, we got to brainstorm and make decisions together, like even despite the capacity difference, basically, because she was my boss. But then we're brainstorming together, we're working to processes together, and expanding on that, even with the projects that we plan at SustyVibes is also participatory in as we co-design these projects with the community we work in. So I've really learned that leadership is not just about top-down commands, but also putting your hands in the dirt and doing the work with the community or whoever you are working with.
Central to the core of SustyVibes is youth and sustainability, youth resilience, youth passion, youth creativity. So it always has to be, set in that way. And that's something that I hope that the next generation carries forward.
Congratulations on 10 years of real impact. You stayed consistent, you stayed authentic, you've remained purpose-driven, you've found different ways of engaging, of pulling people in.
Thank you for being such a beam of light, and I hope that there's more years to you. Congratulations.
And I pray that we continue to do more impactful projects, more awareness. And I pray that SustyVibes will get to that level that they will be the official, consultant to the government that's to do with climate and environment.
I want to thank the SustyVibes team for not only creating a space that teaches, but for creating a space that transforms lives.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity over and over again to use this platform to share what I need to share to the world.
So as SustyVibes grows bigger and stronger, I can only wish that people find belonging.
So SustyVibes, happy 10th anniversary. I am a very proud founder, and I look forward to everything that you will do as you grow, as you continue to evolve. Your journey and your path is so bright. Thank you for giving me a sense of purpose and for being this organization that we can always look back at and say, it's possible to be passionate, it's possible to dream, it's possible to do big things even from a small place.